What's up, everybody? This is the Man of Steel, Mike Verna, and you are listening to the 3 Count Podcast.
Knew that she raised one icon. All of your hate won't change none. Icon. Who you think you are and who I am.
Welcome, everyone, to another great edition of the 3 Count Presents Now Entering the Ring. I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, and you see me here all the time because you know what? I feel like I'm the only person who stays consistent on this show. It is what it is. But enough about me. Let's go down the roster. Introducing first, he is the man himself. He is the college boy. He is the one that we refer to as JJ, Napster, and Q. But for right now, you can call him Malcolm J. That is the man himself. Give it up for him, Malcolm J.
I'd like to thank the sidewalks, keeping up the streets. Dangerous times going on. Make sure that you are locked and loaded. Chitty, babe. Study every day.
It is good to see that you're back here, man. I know it's been a while since we've been on the show. And then, I know people randomly see you pop on, so it's what it is. Also, don't forget, this is the 3 Count Podcast, which means we usually have run-ins. Someone's always showing up late. It is what it is. But enough about that. This is the 3 Count Podcast, which means one thing. Besides the fact that this is now in Shireen, we always have a special guest for you. And this special guest for you, he is the promoter, the booker of Total Psychopathic Wrestling. He is the man from Kapow Wrestling, and he's also getting ready to start up his third promotion that he's going to be running, Flawless. Give it up for the man, Stephen J.
Yo. What's up, y'all?
What is up, man? We are glad to have you on the show. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, no problem, brother.
So,
Thank you for giving me a platform to talk some shit.
bro, could we ever, this is like our safe haven is what we call it. But really, our show, man, we tell everybody this is a show about, it's a wrestling show for wrestlers by wrestlers. And then, obviously we bring in, a lot of different people to kind of help, help wrestlers promote themselves and get themselves over. So definitely to have someone like you, being a booker and a promoter yourself, you can definitely give some big insights into some of our guys who are, trying to help get their name out there and get their name broad and out there. So thank you for spending some time with us.
Oh, no problem, man.
So as we mentioned, man, you are the booker and the promoter of Total Psychopathic Wrestling. But what I really need to know, man, is what is the hardest part about being a booker/promoter?
I thought it'd be fun. I really did. It was my childhood dream. I wanted to be every kid has his little action figures, and they, start their own little, with their toys, make their own match. I thought, it'd be kind of cool. And then I start doing it. One of the hardest things, man, it's like a whole nother full-time job. It really is. But dealing with some of the attitudes with some of the workers, just I'm like, these grown big tough guys are a bunch of prima donnas. I ain't gonna say no names, but they're drama, man.
I feel like I hear that a lot. It's weird.
So far, that's the only problem I've really had out of it.
I mean, I feel like I hear that a lot too. I know some other wrestlers who have been on our show and thrown us some names offline. We haven't talked about online, and we're not gonna bring up any names now. But yeah.
I'll throw you when we stop recording.
All right, bad. All right, so how is it what's been different about the shows prior to the pandemic to post-pandemic, and how have you guys made adjustments to swerve in and out of getting into trouble?
At first, when everything shut down, we were like everybody else. We didn't know what the hell to do. But, we've mostly been running outdoors, and now it's turning cold, so we're probably going to be running inside. But see, down here, there's still a lot of places you can only have a certain amount of people in. I think it's 50 people, maybe 100. And, I think it's still 50. So it's like it's not really worth running because you ain't making nothing. But you know, you just got to deal with it. Just roll with it. Basically, you know, make sure everybody wears their mask and sanitize, and you know, I'm gonna sound just like everybody else. We're all gonna get through this. That's basically what everybody says. That's true. If we all work together, we'll all get through it.
Yep. And I mean, it's wild, man, how like people will take something and turn it political. Not that we get into politics here, but you're right, man. Like they turn something political and they try to say one thing or another. But you're right, man. As long as like people can just understand the goal is to get past this and to that we will work together to get past it. Yeah, anything is possible, man.
Yeah, down here, one of the problems is, man, the mask situation. A lot of motherfuckers don't want to wear the mask. Just wear the goddamn mask or go home. Simple as that. Pardon my language. I didn't
No,
know
you're
if it was
fine.
the type of party. I forgot to ask.
No, you're fine. Trust me.
You know, we're constantly getting on fans to wear their mask, and you know, they're making it, oh, I got asthma. Oh. I'm like, oh, you got asthma, but you've been sitting there screaming and jumping around, which is totally fine, for the past 3 hours. And I ain't seen you take an inhaler out once. Don't give me that bullshit. Put your mask on.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people will always say like, well, it infringes on my rights. And I was like, well, yeah, but to be fair, it does say that as long as you're not infringing on the rights of others, and as long as you're sick, you will put somebody else out there too. So it's like y'all need just chill, put your mask on. Let's just move past this. Once
Like,
we get
I
through
don't like it.
lit.
I don't like it as much as the next man, but I wear it because you know, even when I go in the gas station and go in the stores, everybody down here, a lot of people won't wear the shit. Like some stores are pushing it, like you can't even enter the store without it, and then some stores are slightly relaxed. Like now, I don't know if you know the mayor or our mayor down here in Knox County is Kane, WWE Glenn Jacobs. He's against the mask idea. Like he basically got on there and said, "You're right. You can wear it if you want to." So now, thanks for the help, partner.
And be like, I don't remember WWE. I didn't remember WWE giving him a choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, man, so let's go on, right? So where do you see TPW heading, and where do you like plan on how, like in the next 5 years, man? Where do you see TPW going?
I'm hoping it's like one of the top death match. I don't really want to be known for death matches, man. I want to be like, I want to, you know, maybe, you know, like Game Changer, ICW, NHB, IWA Mid South, you know, something like that. You know, you ain't just got death matches, you also got good wrestling. And see, at first, before I came on, the wrestling, I ain't gonna lie, man, the wrestling on their show was the shits. And the only reason, they only had one death match, and that was the only reason everybody came. And of course, they knew that, so they waited and made that the last match, which was smart on their behalf. But he was running pop-up shows at first, like once, maybe twice a year. And then I told him, I'm like, dude, if you ever start running monthly, let me know. Well, he decided to pick the year 2020 to start running monthly. And I was already working for Kapow at the time. And their June show was coming up. I've been booking with them since June because of the pandemic. That was our first show back from the pandemic, and my first show. I don't know if you're familiar with deathmatch wrestling or not, or what your opinion is on it, but I always wanted to book a death match. And Kapow is a family-friendly show, and they shit on death matches. So I booked a local guy down here by the name of Brad Cash, and another. He's not really local, but he's from Tennessee, and he's a deathmatch guy. His name's Tank. I don't know if you know him or not, or heard of him. Well, I had them two booked for the show, but it was right there, right when everything was first opening back up, and they were, you know, didn't want to take the risk on catching COVID. And I'm like, all right, you know, I respect that. So I reached out to John Wayne Murdoch, which he's one of my homies. I don't know if you know who that is. He's
I
a
do know
death
that name.
Yeah, JWM, that's one of the homies. So I reached out to him, and he said, yeah, I'm in. And then I was like, all right, I got to find you an opponent. And Matt Raby, which is the other owner of TPW, he reached out to this dude named Raven Havoc, who wrestles up there at H2O, Matt Tremont's promotion. But he's from North Carolina. And I'd never heard of him. You know, come find out we were friends on Facebook, and I didn't even know it. So I ended up booking that match, and that match just went nuts. So I was like, all right. I was like, let's try this on. So at the July show, I tried to book a match, and the whole thing just fell apart. I tried to book a little bit more, but it's just everything that could have went wrong. But it still ended up being a good show, so it's on our Roku channel. I ended up booking another death match. And I'm like, you know what? August 15th rolls around. I'm like, this is going to be the biggest show y'all ever had. Because I'm going to book this motherfucker. So I also brought the first ever women's match. It was just a fucking dude fest at first. No, just a fucking sausage fest. No women matches. And I'm like, that's cool and all, but we need, a wrestling company. You're going to be a wrestling company. You need something for everybody. You got to have the blood for the diehard fans. You got to have a women's match. You got to have a comedy match. You got to have the flippy shit. You got to have a house battle. You got to have tag team. You got to have, something for everybody. Every kind of type of wrestling there is. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to book this motherfucker. So I reach out to, he just retired as the ring announcer for IWA Mid-South, Kevin Cordell. Shout out to him. He's like, he used to run a promotion down here in Knox Bullet, and I used to love going to it, and I wanted to kind of pick up where he left off because they were different from everybody else, because they were bringing in guys that were on the rise that nobody knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, down here in East Tennessee, everybody's got a fucking wrestling promotion. Well, I wanted to be different. If you can go next Saturday and see that guy down the road from where I'm running, why do I want him on my show? Which is why, I'm bringing in people that don't nobody know to make names for themselves. And that's what he was famous for. Like, he was bringing in JT Dunn before he was big, OI4K, back when they were still OI4K. He was just bringing in everybody. The Rascals, before they were the Rascals, Ace Austin. It was called Bandit Wrestling. It was a local promotion. Luckily, and unfortunately, it ended up, he ended up getting sick. He has cancer, and he, couldn't do it no more. Well, anyway, he went back to ring announcing for IWA Mid-South. So I reached out to him, and he hooked me up with Alice Crowley and Hollywood Haley J, which is the IWA Mid-South Women's Champion. And also the daughter of the amazing Maria. Shout out to her. I love you. And they ended up coming down to do our women's match. And that was wild. Then I had, we've been running normally 1 to 2 death matches by now. So I'm like, let's just book some of the wildest death matches. I brought in some of the death match stars that are just now, like Alex Ocean, Akira, Colt 45. We had like 3 wild ass death matches on the show, but we also had wrestling. I know y'all from Baltimore. I know y'all know Mr. Grimm. Shout out to him. That's the homie. I brought him in. He's been on just about every show I booked except maybe for 2. So like he's a hell of a worker. I got nothing but nice things to say about him. And he's dependable, very dependable. I brought him in and let him work. This is basically one of the biggest shows, like, and the better shows of TPW. And I'm like, now, we got momentum. We had people from other promotions coming to check us out that night, people that were shitting on us because we were at first running pop-up shows, or we were running death matches, or we had shitty wrestling. They're all coming to check our shit out now. So it was awesome. We're doing something. We're making noise. So we need to keep up that momentum. So I kind of just want to keep that rolling and see where I'm at in 5 years. Hopefully we're, bigger than where we're at now, but that's the goal for everybody.
Right. Yeah, you brought up a few names, man. Like, you're talking about the deathmatch scene. Actually, one of my close friends, he's actually going to be wrestling in a Prince of Deathmatch tournament. By the time this airs, it'll be already passed because it's going on this weekend. But yeah, Mason Martin is actually one of my close friends, and he's actually, I think he's slated to be on your guys' show October 27th.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of death matches.
My little brother, he's going to be at the Prince of the Deathmatch. Tristan, he's always on our show. He's our former deathmatch champion.
Oh man,
he's been, doing his thing with IWA Mid-South, and he was up there for the Insane 8 in Wisconsin. He's doing his thing. I'm proud of him.
That's awesome, though. So we talked about for the next 5 years, we're talking about growing and, picking up those names that haven't been well known. One of my other questions too, man, is if there's a place, like a single place that you could book a show, where is that place that you want to book a show at?
Damn, good question. Anywhere in the world?
Yeah.
I'd like to run the Manhattan Center, man, the Hammerstein Ballroom. I know I could have said, Madison Square Garden, whatever, but, I just always liked the way the Hammerstein Ballroom looked.
Yeah. No, it's a great place to pick. I personally thought, I'm not going to lie, I was going to say, maybe at the home of the Tennessee Volunteers. Like we have like the largest wrestling crowd of all time, like 109,000 fans, like screaming out that'd be my spot.
Oh yeah. If I had that WWE money, I'd run Neyland Stadium.
Right.
But WWE can't even sell out Thompson Bowling Arena down here, so.
Yeah, but
I'm glad you said the home of the Vols, because they come on here in a minute.
Right. I mean, I'm a huge college fan myself, man, but I'll be real. I'm a Nebraska fan, so that's where I will always ride. So, I mean,
You ain't even in the SEC. You can't talk.
You know what? We're not going to talk. We'll talk about this more offline. We ain't going to talk about this right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand the questions over to JJ, and JJ's got some questions to ask you.
All right. So it's my turn. So my first question for you would be, what's your top 3 favorite stipulation matches that you like to book?
Oh, man, I'm new to getting to book stipulation matches. Like, I was just booking wild-ass banger matches at first, and now I'm getting to book death matches. So, like, I'm just going to go ahead and name off 3 that we've just ran. We had a home run derby. We had a barefoot death match. And I got – I don't want to announce it. Well, fuck it, I'm going to announce it. The October show, I got your boy Sicken in the Lego death match.
Sicken's always doing some crazy shit.
And he was like happy as shit.
Yeah, I just sometimes I'll be like, dude, like, calm down the death matches. But all right, so my next question, I'm gonna segue to my next question. So, who are your top 3 favorite promoters of all time?
Of all time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this one, man. But Jim Cornette is my one. I grew up going to Smoky Mountain Wrestling, bro. So you gotta think about that. And then you got obviously Paul Heyman. Who doesn't like him? And then I'm really gonna catch shit for this one, but I also like Vince Russo. I like the idea. I like, his way of thinking, kinda, to an extent. Like, he wanted to bring in the young guys. He wanted to push the younger guys. He didn't want, the guys who were fighting over the older guys, still clinging to life. So, actually, he really wasn't a promoter. He's more of a writer. So, okay, I'll change it. Ian Rotten. That's my other boy. I'll probably get a lot of shit for that, too. What's up, Ian?
All right, so I have a follow-up to my next question for you. What is the best advice that you could give to up-and-coming promoters trying to make it into the industries? Like, best advice.
I'm an up-and-coming promoter, so I don't know, man. I've only been doing this a year, or maybe a little over.
But you got some experience,
If someone was wanting to be like me a year and a half ago, wanting to do this, I'd probably tell them, once you become a promoter, all the wrestlers want to become your friends. You can't just trust everybody, because you're basically your friend for a reason. Like, I ain't gonna lie, as soon as I put promoter and booker on my Facebook page, like, I got the abundance of dudes I've got sliding up in my DMs right now makes my old lady jealous.
I like that. That's good. I like that.
Wow. So I have one more question. I have a final question for you. And my question will be, when it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be as a promoter?
I want my legacy to be that I helped save and bring back wrestling in East Tennessee after it was killed by a shit promoter. After Smoky Mountain Wrestling ran out of business, we got this cancer here in East Tennessee. His name was Terry Landell. And he just killed the wrestling scene. Like, I even quit going to shows. Like, man, I almost quit watching wrestling altogether. And then in 2017, I ended up checking out a show that had Joey Ryan and Matt Cross. Shout out to him. I'm rocking wrestling this forever. It had a bunch of, names on it. I love Lucha Underground, and I was like, oh, shit, those guys are here in our town. I'm going to go check this show out. And I go there, and I'm sitting there, thinking, what wrestling has been here in East Tennessee. And I was like, I'm trying to explain to my old lady, because she's never seen indie wrestling. She's only watched WWE, Lucha Underground. And she wasn't a deathmatch fan at the time, but now she's a huge deathmatch fan because she likes fucked up shit like I do. So I'm sitting there kind of warning her, what, if this show sucks, we're bouncing. And so we get there, sit down, the first match goes kind of like I thought it would. And I'm like, all right, yeah, if it don't get any better, we're going to take off. Well, the second match was like a 6-man tag. It was fucking wild, and I was like, my jaw dropped, and I was like, I ain't used to seeing this here locally. And they just, all right, fine, that one, got my attention. The next one, I don't know, he's up there near y'all's way, actually in Pennsylvania. Y'all know Facade?
Yes, I do know Facade.
Okay, well, we had him, and we had a local guy that's been down here forever, and he can wrestle. His name's Menace. It was like a ninja battle type. And these guys had, like, just an outstanding match, and that just brought me back to indie wrestling instantly. So, yeah, I just want to, my legacy, I just want to take credit for helping rebuild the wrestling scene in East Tennessee, if not making it greater than it already is.
That's what's up.
That's awesome though, man. And that's important though, man. It's like you're trying to give back to the community and like give back to wrestling, but then also like just reawaken a sleeping giant that just happens to be in your area. So,
I also sorry to interrupt, but I also want to be known for making stars. You know what I mean? Like I want to use like I can recognize talent. You know, real recognize real. I'm not talented, but I can recognize it. I want to be known for bringing in, you know, guys before they were famous and been like, when they're, you know, make something of their career, they're on NXT or WWE. Be like, hey, that guy used to work for me.
it's not a bad one. I feel like that's what like everybody wants is they want that ability to say they got that guy before he like got really, really big. So let's get into this, right? This is my favorite portion of every single one of these interviews that we do, man. So it's now time for the world famous 10 count questions. Here's how it works, man. We're just going to fire off questions at you, 10 of them, of course. And it's just first thought that comes to your mind, man. So it's not really you have to think too hard about it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put an imaginary timer on the clock. Bing! And here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
Raw.
One person that you wish you could book.
AJ Styles.
Hey, let's go. Night owl or early bird?
Night owl.
Friday night, what are you doing?
Working.
Favorite Italian dish?
Oh, damn. Pizza.
Let's go. Your drink special choice. There we go. Favorite podcast?
Is this a trick question?
It could be.
I'll listen to the Jim Cornette Experience and Corny's Drive Through.
It's not a bad choice. I would say yes. It was a trick question. You could have said us, but.
Oh, okay. Well, y'all are in my top three.
Hey, let's go. I'll take behind Cornette. I'll take it. I'm not mad about that.
Number two, man, I got to shout out my boy Jake Adams with Alone in the Dark. Or Alone in the Basement, I'm sorry.
There you go. You get your shout out, and you're gonna be featured all over Maryland. So, all right. Favorite wrestler?
Sting, but Tracy Smothers was one too.
Okay. Nominate one person that you would vote to be on this podcast.
Graham, I'll nominate Mr. Graham if he hadn't already been.
He's not yet. We're still booking him. All right. And last but not least, man, my favorite question to ask every single person that comes on this show. Favorite curse word?
Fuck.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm a tow truck driver, bro. It's just constantly. It's like, fuck.
I totally understand that.
Like I was a cog hair. Like, I mean, I cuss a lot, dude. Like I'm around truckers and mechanics all day. So like my son, like luckily he knows right from wrong because I was like one step away from his first word being cunt or something like that. So luckily it wasn't.
Well, with that being said, though, man, that wraps up our 10 count questions. So only thing we have for you now, man, is why don't you let our listeners and our viewers know where they can find you on social media?
Just type in Steven Johnson, man. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. You can find all that shit on my Facebook. But yo, check out Kapow Wrestling. Not the one in the UK, even though they're cool. They're good people. But the one in Knoxville. And Total Psychopathic Wrestling. And check out Flawless Wrestling as we just launched it. We have our first show October 10th, I think. You can look all them up on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and just type them in. We're all over.
I'm definitely gonna link that one because we're a podcast and really want to feature like a lot of different wrestlers and female talent is definitely few and far in between. So we definitely want to book as many people as we can as many females as we can to watch the shows. Man. So we'll definitely link up with Flawless. We're definitely like huge proponents to push women's wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, of all the people this dude could be interviewing, he's wanting to interview me. That's an honor.
Hey, man, I appreciate you just like spending time with us and just like, giving us a bit of your knowledge, man. That's really what it is. So with that being said, man, I am Clifford Red Dog Miller here with JJ Napster, Q, Malcolm J, whatever you want to call him. He is here. This is the 3 Count Presents. Now entering the ring, Stephen J. Tune into the next episode and be there or be somewhere else. What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want you to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3countpod, give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give us a subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3Count Podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3Count Podcast also has merchandise. Oh! At prowrestlingtees.com/the 3Count Pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So, show us some support, please.